What's up, guys? I'm Josh Mosman. Welcome to another episode of This Week in MXA, and it is two-stroke time. We're at Glen Helen, and we're getting ready for the Two-Stroke World Championships, Wiseco Two-Stroke World Championships, presented by Fast House this weekend, April 19th at Glen Helen Raceway. It's going to be live streamed on Dirt Bike Magazine's YouTube channel. And in This Week in MXA, presented by O'Neill Racing, we're going to give you guys a quick preview of what's to come at the Two-Stroke National. 2025 marks the 16th year in a row for the Two-Stroke National, and this year, money has gotten even more exciting in the Open Pro class. For the last few years, it's always been $10,000 split between the top 10 in the Open Pro class. This year, they're shortening it up, $10,000 split between the top 5. That means the winner is going away with some big money. $5,000 to the winner of the Open Pro class this year at the Wiseco Two-Stroke World Championship, $2,000 for second place, $1,500 for third place, then it drops down to $1,000 for fourth and $500 for fifth in that Open Pro class. Last year, the battle was on between Justin Hoft and Carson Brown to take the win. Those guys were battling so hard, going so fast around the Glen Helen National Track, and it was a ton of fun to watch. Carson Brown on that Suzuki chassis with a KTM engine. It's quite the contraption he's got inside of that bike. And then Justin Hoft was on a Yamaha with a 300 kit in it. Both of them battled out. This year, Carson Brown is back. Not even sure what he's been riding and what he's gonna race this weekend. I think he'll probably go back to that Suzuki. It's an exciting bike to check out, but he's also been riding a Yamaha. He's also been riding a Beta a little bit as well, the 300 RX from Beta. So excited to see what Carson ends up on this weekend. He's definitely the guy to beat in the Open Pro class. Unfortunately, Justin Hoft will not be racing this weekend. He injured his hand a couple weeks ago, had to get it pinned, and he won't be on the track this weekend. So bummed for Justin Hoft. But the Fast House crew, they did convince Darren Durham to come out and do some racing with us this weekend. So he'll be in the Open Pro class riding on that bike that Justin Hoft won on last year. Excited to have Darren Durham back out here. Also got a long list of local pro riders and other pros showing up. Unfortunately, no Ryan Villapoto this year, and also no Mike Alessi. Mike broke his femur at the Daytona Supercross in amateur day. He's healing up, and I think he's getting closer to start riding again, but he won't be racing this weekend. Then Ryan Villapoto, he's racing with his kids at the 2X promotion race this weekend, chasing the amateur dream with his boys. But Pasha 150 Open Pro class, that's the class I'll be in. I'll be on Pasha's KTM 150. I believe it's a 2021 or 2022 model. It's the carbureted bike. I'll be running an Electron carburetor on the KTM 150. That class has big money as well. Pasha is paying $15,000 to the 3 Pasha 150 Open Pro classes. Excited for that one. I'll be in the Pro class. No age requirements for that one. $2,500 to win, $1,500 for second, and $1,000 for third. So getting on the podium pays well in the Pasha 150 Open Pro classes. They're technically called 125 classes, but they're up to 150 cc's, so you can bore out your 150, your 125 into a 150 and have some fun. I'm gonna be racing on Pasha's KTM 150, the carbureted bike, running an Electron carburetor on there. So excited to rip that bike up for the second or third year in a row and have some fun on it this weekend in the 150 Open Pro class. Also, they're doing the Pasha 150 Open Pro 30 plus class. That has the same payout schedule, $2,500 for first, $1,500 for second, $1,000 for third, and then he's doing the 50 plus Pasha 150 class. So it's gonna be exciting, good chance to make some money, but also lots of other classes to race, novice classes, intermediate classes, age group classes, mini classes. Everybody's racing this weekend at Glen Helen. But as for guys we do plan on seeing at the race this weekend, we got a long list of two-strokers. Robbie Wageman, he's getting ready to race the Open Pro class this weekend. In the 150 class, there's quite a few guys that I'm gonna be racing. 125s, 150s, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Rod Holyoke flew all the way over here from the UK. He's gonna be riding on one of Pasha's KTM 150s. Also, Brandon Ray, B-Ray, he's gonna be on one of Pasha's KTM 150s. Trevor Stewart, he'll be racing this weekend. I'm not sure which class he's doing, or maybe he'll be doing both, but Trevor Stewart, he'll be racing two strokes this weekend. Sage Powers, he's got a Yamaha. Cole Timbo, he's been ripping lately. He's got a Yamaha. He'll be racing this weekend. And Luke Kalatian, he'll be on a Husky 150 this weekend. And Kai Aiello. Kai Aiello, he does it all. He did Supercross, he races off-road full time, and he's racing two strokes this weekend. Other guys in the big bike class, Dante Oliveira coming over from the off-road scene. Factory KTM, he'll be in the Open Pro class. He's on the sign-up sheet. And Dare DeMartille, he is on a Beta, Factory Beta 300 RX, and he'll be racing this weekend alongside Bryson Gardner, also on a Beta 300. So long list of guys. I'm excited to go racing with everyone this weekend, and be sure to stay tuned for the videos live streamed on Dirt Bike Magazine's YouTube. So not only is there big chances to make money in the pro classes this weekend, there's also chances for you, the MXA viewer, to watch this video and save money when buying a new carburetor from Lectron Carburetors. Two-stroke smoke at checkout to save $100 on a new Lectron carburetor from Lectron Fuel Systems. This right here doesn't have a carburetor. Fuel injected KTM 300 two-stroke. Now, if you're a two-stroke rider, you know that the carburetor bikes are more fun to ride, but especially more fun to modify. However, the fuel injected bikes like this one are a little bit smoother off the bottom end, a little bit easier to ride. And with Lectron carburetors, they actually kind of meet in the middle. The Lectron carburetors are smoother than Kian and Mikuni and actually do help with bottom end snap. I'm riding that KTM 150, as I already mentioned, with Pasha's bike. He's got a Lectron carburetor on there, and it does make that bike smoother and a little bit easier to ride, not such a hard hit. So it's a kind of a give and take. I like the hard hit if you're, trying to get max power right away, but it actually does get a little bit easier to ride with a Lectron carburetor on there. So Lectrons are really popular on 250 and 300 two-strokes. The 150, they actually work really well as well. So excited for this weekend. I'll be racing Pasha's bike. One of the MXA test riders will race this 300 SX, and we'll have lots of orange helmets. Something really cool we're doing for World Vet and for the World Two-Stroke Championships, and also for the Moto Fest coming up in just a couple weeks after the two-stroke race, is live stream. Here straight from Glen Helen, live streaming the races. Last year we did the World Vet Championship on MXA's YouTube channel. This weekend we're doing the two-stroke World Championship on the Dirt Bike Magazine YouTube channel. Dirt Bike Magazine is a sister publication to MXA, so partners with them, and we're excited to promote this race this weekend, where you can watch and hopefully see me on TV and hopefully me on the podium. Mark Tilley and Jack Capella, they'll be calling the races this weekend on the live stream. The live stream will focus on the Open Pro Big Bike class and the Open Pro 150 class, Pasha 150 Open Pro. So excited for that. It's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. April 19th, be sure to tune into the live stream before you watch Supercross and have some fun here at Glen Helen. Thanks to Fast House, and also thanks to Wiseco for sponsoring the live stream and keeping that going. And of course, thanks to Lectron as well. Those companies are making it possible, and Glen Helen's making it possible to promote two-strokes and keep them going worldwide. All right, so this one, it feels like an April Fool's joke, but we're already past mid-April. Kawasaki just posted a new off-road utility vehicle, four-legged utility vehicle, coming projected in 2050. Hydrogen-powered. Kawasaki, I don't know, it felt like an April Fool's joke, but it's something that I feel like we should share on here, because we like to share funny news, but we also like to share what's going on in the industry, and Kawasaki has a wild hydrogen-powered four-legged concept that they're working on. We'd rather see the 300 two-stroke, but it's going to be a little bit more time before we get that one. So Kawasaki's got some wild stuff going on. I don't even know what to think about it, but it's funny. Also on the cards for this weekend is the KTM Junior class. They'll be racing at the East Rutherford Supercross, and that means that the KTM Junior Fantasy League app presented by Ford Lightning is on again this weekend. If you haven't downloaded it yet, it's a free app, free to play. It's just like the MXA Fantasy League. It's something that we've done in partnership with KTM and Ford Lightning and the Lightning F-150 truck. And this weekend, we're giving away a Pant Sagan Designs PSD underwear giveaway, a 1-year supply of underwear. I don't know how many pairs of underwear that is, but it's a 1-year supply. Giving away socks as well to PSD. So get signed up, free to download the app, free to play, and a pretty cool prize. In the Supercross world, this weekend is the East Rutherford Supercross. It's an East Coast round, so those guys will be back on the track this weekend. Last weekend was gnarly. It was a battle to the finish between Cooper Webb and Chase Sexton in the 450 class. Now, with just 4 races left and 12 points separating the two, if Cooper Webb finishes second at the rest of the races and Chase Sexton wins the rest of the races, they will end up tied on points at the Salt Lake City finale, but Chase Sexton would win because he would have more wins throughout the season. So things are close at the top of the pack. Cooper Webb, if he can just win one more round, that would give him a little more of a buffer and allow him to finish second behind Chase at the other races and give him the championship. So 450 class is going to be exciting this weekend. Also in the 250 class, Daxton Bennick, he got clipped last weekend. Unfortunately, got cross jumped. Tough track with the rutted transitions make for a lot of mistakes to happen out there. Unfortunately, that's how he ended up getting knocked out on the track. He suffered a concussion, and he also suffered a compression fracture to to a vertebrae in his back, so he'll be off the bike for a little bit. Bummed out for Daxton Bennick, but also we are happy for some injury updates. Jorge Prado is back on the bike riding at Pala this week, so excited to see him back on his Kawasaki KX450 getting ready for the outdoor season. Also, MXA Fantasy League, be sure to play it this weekend for the East Rutherford Supercross, brought to you by Onyx Off-Road. Use the code MXA20 to save with Onyx Off-Road and get you dialed in on all the tracks and trails near you. Onyx Off-Road has trails all over for your UTV, off-road truck, and dirt bike, of course, so be sure to check them out. Thank you guys for watching This Week in MXA. We also just got done testing our 250 SXF Factory Edition. That video is live on our YouTube channel. We have our 85cc shootout where we tested with some mini bike guys. That was a lot of fun. It's on our YouTube channel and website, and we're currently testing a TM300 two-stroke, getting ready to race that this weekend at the Two-Stroke National as well. So looking forward to it. Be sure to stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. This weekend, 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 and this weekend. This is this weekend. There's for this weekend, this weekend, this weekend, this weekend, this is this weekend, this weekend, this weekend, this weekend, this weekend, last weekend, this weekend, last weekend, this week, this weekend, this weekend, that's this weekend, 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 and this weekend, this weekend, this week, this weekend, if this weekend, this weekend.